But no, Beth, your goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marvels. Kayla versus Allison, and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory. Hello everybody and welcome back here to the CVR World Cup Mixer page. We are in week 2 of the CVRcade Solo Cup. Earlier today, or this morning, we had Zone E. We saw Quentin Molyneux go on to win every single race and take the overall Omnium. He was heavily contested by Homer Thompson, by Sadeo Ikiba, by Aaron Starlin, by the Badger. And so now we go again. We've got 2 hours of exciting racing ahead of us here in Zones K and Zone L. Now, the winner of the zone, the rider who scores the most amount of points across the 4 races, will take home $30. Second place takes 20, third place takes 15, then we have 10, then we have 5. More importantly, they gather points as they get ready for the grand finale, with the winner takes home $3,000. We have riders from all across the world broadcasting in. We have Casey Shum on broadcast today of Team Cycling Up. He's ready to go here in the Solo Cup. We've got Niels Heldens as well, who skipped this morning's racing in order to be ready for this evening's racing. We have Quentin Molyneux, who, rumor has it, he was cramping up earlier today. He was struggling more so than it came across on stream. Those were his words. We'll see if that's part of the poker game or not. We've got Ben Shuilong out of the UK also streaming in today, Team Hive. We've got everybody's favorite Scottishman. We've got Tam Burns in here. He won his first race not too long ago. Can he double up on that effort? We've got Carl as we get an attempted dab. I'm sure the chat can rate that one from 1 to 10. We'll see what the chat gives that one. We got Carl Axel Sander, who was the phenomenon of last week, where he really shined on Tuesday and on Thursday. And again, on Saturday, he helped in the CVR World Cup. And then last but not least, back by popular demand, we have Team Hive's Jennifer Garcia. We can go to Jennifer here first. Jennifer, the Solo Cup, week 2. What can we expect from you in this second week?
Oh no, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Ah, what did you say, Jesper?
This second week here, Jennifer, what can we expect from you?
Oh, hopefully better than last week. Oh my gosh. My curve has been remedied, so there's hope for me this time around.
Well, we'll see how it goes. We got 50 seconds here, Jennifer. I'll let you get ready as the racing is about to get underway. We do start with Electric Rush. We've got 8 laps up here first. So we've got 8 laps of a low-skill event. We've got Uncrashable, Quantum Shift, and Corner Caper on. And we have 1 comeback kit. The 1 comeback kit played a massive role in Zone E, as Quentin Molyneux let Homer, let Aaron Starling go up the road, and then we saw Quentin activate his comeback kit to get back on terms with the front group. We've got 4 races ahead of us here. There is a lot of money on the line here. We've got several racers. I'm seeing 26 racers take to the start line here of Zone K. The nerves are coming up. I see we've got newcomer MAR from the US of A in the racing as well. So good to see new faces joining here in to the CVRcade Solo Cup. Quentin Molyneux off to an early start. Niels Heldens choosing to race with a hoodie here in the first race. It's something we've seen Tim Fulford also take that approach earlier in both the Solo Cup, the World Cup, and the Derny Cup, but it doesn't look like he's taken to the start here. Truth XXX is asking if it's a new headset. Yes, indeed it is. I decided it's time to no longer share the headset that I use while riding and when broadcasting, so it's not years and years and years of sweat building up that I have to relive every time. But look at Quentin here. He's been dropped. His comeback kit has run out. I think this could be the end for Quentin on this race. The draft is just so high in the front group. Quentin, that's not how you wanted that one to go. What happened?
I forgot to wind up early enough in the start, so had to chase, which hurt.
Well, now you're down in 10th place. I'll let you get rested up. It's not over just yet as Rick, as Homer comes on through, but that is 17 potential points that Quentin Molyneux has left out on the course here, as we're going to see the racing evolve as we get closer and closer to the end here. 1.6 kilometers to go. The front group, we've got Jennifer Garcia, Jeff Rooney, Tam Burns, Ben Shuilong, Ryan Goldenberg, Sebastian Kuhn, Carl Axel Sander, Casey Shum, and Niels Heldens. 9 riders make up the front group here, and you can see Jennifer, she's got the drafting in here. She doesn't need to go that deep this early in the racing, as she knows the sprint is coming up any second here. We got FOG with some sparks in the chat saying, go on, Jennifer. We'll see if she can be able to utilize that bit of encouragement and power it through. Now, if you do hear a tiny bit of sniffs and snuffs here, I am a tiny bit under the weather, so I do apologize. But just like in Zone E, the show must go on. Ben Shuilong here. He didn't have the best of days here on Saturday, and I think he's been thinking about it both Monday and all the way through today, and he's going to be one to be looking out for here. Can he bounce back in the CVRcade Solo Cup, gain some points, gain some prize purse to take on home, you know, treat the family, maybe just treat himself, I don't know, some candy, some ice cream, whatever Ben is up for. 500 meters to go. A rider goes to the left there. That may have been Tam Burns. I think it's Tam Burns who left the group, and he just felt the wake of leaving the pack. The sprint is on. 200 meters. Ryan Goldenberg at 900. Jeff at 1,000. Jennifer uses her comeback kit. As you can see, Casey Shum throwing down everything. He is in third. Can he go through to second? It is Ben on the front as Casey. I reckon Casey took that one just on the line, and he does. Perfectly timed sprint finish from Casey Shum as he pips Carl Axel Sander to the line in front of Ben Shuilong. Let's see that instant replay again, because we've got Casey's point of view on the right hand side. He comes right through the group here. Well, first we see Quentin fall back. It was Tim in the chat calling Q lazy, so interesting to see if Quentin takes that bit of advice up and maybe, I don't know, tries harder out of the gate. I mean, Quentin always want to have a strong finish to the racing, but recently we've seen him struggle a bit in the beginning. We've got the sprint here. It's Ryan Goldenberg and Jeff Rooney with 1,000 equalized watts trying to go 200 meters to go, and then Jennifer's comeback kit, it gets activated, but as soon as it gets activated, it gets deactivated as well. So that's super gone and forgotten. But Casey Shum timing that to perfection as he comes around the corner. He just pips Ben Shuilong to the line, and we get the celebration. So Casey, congratulations, first one down here. How much does that mean to you to start off strong, to take a victory on the low skill event?
That's good. That one's always kind of a random numbers game. You have to be there to have a shot at it, but it's more about luck than anything once you get there. So it's good to get that one out of the way. We set some big numbers last week, so I think a lot of us should really suffer here. Carl and Sebastian beat me by a lot on Saturday, and I moved my curve a lot on Saturday. So I expect these longer races to be very hard on us right now. I'm just about 1-for-1 equalized to real watts right now.
Earlier today we saw Homer Thompson, we saw Quentin go neck and neck on this track. Have you had a chance to rewatch how that unfolded?
I've never seen this track before. I don't know what you're talking about, Jesper. Yeah, I mean, it's very clear that this has all been practiced. I think I spotted 3 or 4 different test events by different people on this track with these abilities. I just happened to stumble across them. I mean, I wasn't out there test riding it myself or anything. So, yeah, this will be an interesting race. It's going to hurt, though. It's long.
We'll see. We do have great responsibility and inertia, something Quentin used to perfection earlier today. We'll see. Carl Axel Sander crossed the line in second. Carl recently, whatever you've been having for breakfast, it's just been paying off for you. You start off in second place today as well. But I think you finished second last week. Will you be aiming to come up to the first spot today?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna give Casey a fight at least. That's the goal for today.
Goal for today, giving Casey a fight. What about the rest? Because we've got a solid bunch of racers here. Is there anyone in particular, other than Casey, that you've got your eye on?
Oh yeah, always gotta keep an eye for Sebastian, solid rider. And we have Niels as well. Yeah, there are many goods. No, and that's what K. You can be like kind of average, a bit clumsy, but sometimes you have your day and you ride the medium and high skills event without any crashes, and then suddenly you win. So you can't really everyone that is not that one that's a solid one that wins everything, but you can never count out the surprises here. So.
That's what makes CVRcade so fun. Good luck, Carl, here in the next race.
Thanks.
Somebody who always theory crafts the racing. He came third in the last race. Ben, we heard Casey talk about the test events, setting it up, testing it. What do you make of the great responsibility, the inertias, and the wind at your backs that are available on this map?
I think they're the key to winning the race. So you got to use them wisely at the right time. Hopefully, save them to attack rather than to defend. See what I mean? Use them offensively, hopefully. But I did actually watch the Zone E stream, and I set up a test event earlier as well. So hopefully, I'll be okay.
Well, I'm excited to see what conclusions you've come to. We got 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. I really want to get a hot take from Quentin because we saw a comment from his friend and teammate in the chat, Tim. Well, Quentin, Tim called you lazy. What do you make of that comment?
He's the one to make that comment who is not racing.
Well, all's fair when you're watching in the Mixer chat, hidden behind the plexiglass of the Mixer mod KGs and the arcade mods. But Quentin, second time today doing this. Do you think anybody will be looking to that strategy you deployed earlier today and know that you're going to try and do something similar?
Yeah, I'm like 99% sure that they'll have picked up on it, and I won't be able to execute it as well as I did earlier today, if I even get the chance to do it.
I like those words because I think this is going to be interesting, Quentin. I think we're going to see a lot of riders attempting what you were doing earlier, but then other riders have anti-moves and stuff like that. We will see what's going to happen here in the next race as Dark Matter Spire is about to get underway here. It is 5 laps. You've got 1 great responsibility, 1 inertia, and 2 wind at your backs. We are trying a different scoreboard today that will be deploying throughout the stream. It has the riders' top 6 and their total score. So throughout the racing today, we'll be trying to cut to this. So in the chat, feel free to give us some love. Feel free to give us some feedback on whether or not you like it. It is a simpler way of sharing the scoring as the racing gets underway, because we know you've got over 20 racers. You've got 4 races each. You've got a total score that can be a lot to track as the racing gets underway here once more on Dark Matter Spire. It is Jennifer Garcia who moves on through here to the left. She's got to be careful she doesn't crash. MAR has just gone down there as the person slides through the corner, accesses the corner speed there, and because of that, slides out, hits the railings, and you go down. Every corner has a certain corner speed that if you exceed that, you go down. The same thing just happened to Rick Woods here, but actually, he overlapped the wheel. So we've got another fun toy to play with here in the commentary booth. Rick Woods overlapped the wheels with another rider and he went down. We're seeing on the first lap here, Ryan Goldenberg has just gone on to the attack with a greater responsibility. So we're seeing inertia, we're seeing great responsibility already gone here as Ben Shuilong, Casey Shum, and Sebastian Kuhn are making up the front here. So already in the racing, moves are being made here. Let's see what's going to happen. It's good to see Aaron in the chat. We got Glenn, we got Lantrell, we got Truth, we got the usual crowd in here. We got DK saying, go on, Jennifer, as Sebastian just increases the pace on the front. We've got Badger as well. Badger was supposed to be on the stream today here for the second zone. Unfortunately, some technical difficulties did get in the way of that, but we can only imagine in that blue 3R suffering away. He's got the cap on as he moves on in here, and he sits in the wheel. Currently, the top three on the scoreboard is Sebastian Kuhn leading with 77 points. As you can see it just moving as I say that. Casey, Quentin, Sebastian, Ben, Kyle, Nils. These are all making up your top 6 scorers currently as the 20 racers are taken to the start line here. What we learned in E earlier is that this is a long race. How it starts is not always how it finishes. So you've got to really stay in there, find the draft, and just think negative splits. This is cycling meets gaming, and you've really got to think to save energy and spend a tiny bit every lap as we go along. We can move to the back here. We can see Homer Thompson has also slid in here in 10th place. He's sitting down with Jennifer Garcia. She's moving on up. There's no wind on this track, so they don't have to care about that. They can sit right on the wheel as Homer is doing here, but I imagine Homer, after what Quentin put him through this morning, he might be looking down his legs and going, we're going to need something special. He had Mountain Dew at like 7 a.m. in the morning, so I wonder what he has at noon. Maybe it's a Coca-Cola, whatever it is. Homer needs to find a bit of drafting here and move over to the side. So we've got a whole pack riding here, and we'll see how it's going to happen. Truth, see you later. Thank you for the words. Take care of your cold. Yes, thank you. We'll do our best tonight. It's probably why Zone T tonight won't happen racing-wise for me. I'll stay safe. I want to be here. I want to be able to commentate. But Carl, he's moving all around here. He seems a bit antsy, seems a bit jumpy. You look on the left-hand side and you see his facial reaction. He looks a bit flustered here. Last week, he was calm and composed. He was in control. He was making the rest heard. But now, it is the rest making Carl Axel Sander heard. He's down in 10th, and he's slowly but surely being distanced here as he's going off the back. I'm not sure if Jennifer, well, she's a 186. We'll leave her be. We'll be reasonable with our audio checks, but I do see Ben Shuilong, a 167 here. Ben, it's been somewhat of a sedated start from a viewing perspective. Is that how you feel as well as a racer?
No, it's not completely crazy, but everyone's sort of taking turns on the front, whether they want to or not. So I think we've got a good pace.
I'll let you, we're on the hill, Ben, we're on the hill, we've just hit the hill here, so I'll let you get back. Thank you for taking the time here. I do see we have Calm Tempest 420 in the chat. Speaking of that, we've got the Tempest himself, Niels Heldens, racing here. Look at the facial expression. He is locked in, he is ready to go. I think it's very interesting to see Sebastian racing this one, because Sebastian, when he races certain tracks, Dark Matter Spire, Sci-Fi R Loop, he always does this. He goes to the front and he just makes the rest suffer. If you want to stay with him, because of physical equalization, you've got to go above and beyond of what you're willing to do to stay with him. And this is why the CVRcade Solo Cup is an impressive skill on 3 fronts. It's your mental ability, it's your physical ability, and your ability to make decisions under pressure, because Sebastian is gonna get you under pressure. As we can see, 2 riders that are normally teammates, now they are opponents in the Solo Cup, as every rider is for themselves. Niels Heldens on the left, Casey on the right. We've only seen 2 crashes. We've only seen Tam Burns and Rick Woods fall down. So how will this one pay out now, as riders are getting stronger, they're getting smarter, as Ben Shuilong here goes on to the attack. He's found the inside line here, and he's slowly riding away. As you can see, Ben Shuilong, we look from above here, and he's got a bit of a gap. Casey is the first one to close it down. who else will go with it. There are a few supers you've got to be aware of. Great responsibility, inertia, and wind at your back. They're all extremely powerful, especially great responsibility paired with an inertia. We saw what happened to Homer earlier today when he failed to combine them into a strong super together. Instead, he used them separately, and it didn't pay off. We've got the scoreboard again, top right. And as you can see here in the second race, it is far from over. We've got 4 races in total. This is the second of 4 in this zone. And you can see all the positions are moving up here as Badger has moved to the front. Badger is somebody who's been lurking on the edges. He's had that Jeff Rooney, Vibeke Bertram, will they, won't they, Rachel Chandler feel. He's been moving on up, but it feels like we're coming up to Season 8, Season 9 now, and it's time for the conclusion. As Niels Heldens has gone down, that is a massive move. He overlapped the wheels, I believe, here. Niels, what happened to you?
Was a bit eager with changing lanes, so that's what happened. I know who I changed lanes into. I think it was Homer. Could be wrong though. Yeah, sucks, doesn't it?
Well, you can still make up for it, Niels. It is far from over. Remember, 1st through 5th gets a prize money here today and points, and there's always Zone L after. You've also got great responsibility, as we saw Jennifer use hers as she just swung by Niels Heldens as Niels overlapped the wheels. Homer is usually the one on the receiving end of the blocks of the forced mistakes, but now Homer Thompson winds back the years. He comes out, he goes, "What's up, my homies?" and he makes Niels Heldens fall down. We'll see if Homer can make a difference as Niels, with inertia, with wind at his back, he's not giving up. He says, "Sucks, doesn't it?" But this is where the tough gets tougher and the tough gets going. So Niels Heldens, with inertia, with wind at his back, and with a great responsibility, he says goodbye to Homer, to Badger, and to Ben. And he now looks up the road as Jeff Rooney, Casey Shum, and Sebastian Kuhn have a gap. We're halfway. We're not even halfway, technically. We've got 5.9 kilometers to go. Casey, I mean, this seems to be tough. Casey, what are you liking about this so far?
Your lack of math. We're on 3 of 5. That's over halfway.
Well, I'm looking at the progress bar. If anyone's down there, look at the progress bar with me. That does not look like halfway, but I must be off anyway. I blame it on the cold, blame it on the sickness, guys. Down with the sickness. Casey helping on out. I'm trying to look. Am I just delusional, guys? If we look at the progress bar to look if it's halfway or not. As we're on lap 3 of 5. Goodbye, Nigel. Thanks for tuning in here in the broadcast. We got Lantrell saying, "Come on, Jennifer," as Timothy is just getting ready for the next zone. But Quentin looks like he is in his zone here, as we've got 5.3 kilometers left. 4 times 4 is 12. There is such a thing as commentator math, everybody. This is why commentators don't do complex math, such as addition, as subtraction, as multiplication. We don't do those things in the broadcast. We have teams and teams with teams of sub-layers. I mean, this is why René Valadez exists in the world. This is the commissioner I go to when I need to find out what 4 times 4 is on any given day. Sebastian has not stopped. Jeff? By the way, Jeff recently has not been anywhere below like 200 equalized heart rate. He always feels like he's fluctuating around 195, 200. So he must be quite fit currently, quite fresh coming in to the CVRcade Solo Cup racing. Is that Carl? I just spotted Carl coming back on the left, so he's now moving up into 2nd place. Somebody who looked like he was in a world of hurt has now moved up here on the left as he comes on through. Calm Temper says 1 + 1 = 42? Not even that, 427. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Calm Tempest. But now Carl, he went up into 2nd place. Now he's back down in 6th place. What is happening with Carl Axel Sander here as he slingshots to the front, he slingshots to the back. He doesn't really stay in the draft here. So we're seeing How is he going to unfold this racing? There's 4 kilometers to go here. We're on the incline yet again. Ben Shuilong goes. It is the greater responsibility that gets activated here. He's at 60. Then he waits. He could have had his super at 61, but he used it at 59. Will that 2 kilometer an hour difference matter come the end? Who knows? It might, but we'll just have to wait and see. Will anyone react? He uses wind at his back as well. 20 kilometer an hour tailwind. By the way, Herbo Visions, if you're enjoying this, you're watching CVRcade Solo Cup. Riders from across the world are racing their own bikes in their home, in their gym, in their conservatory for real prize money. Whoever wins across the 4 races today, the Omnium, will take home $30. As you can see the front here, Ben Shuilong, a 10-second gap. He has really just signed his own work permit, because he's just gone to the front here and he's used all his supers, and now he's committed to leaving this till the end. He's got to go as if this is the final lap, but he's got to do it every lap. Now, good thing for him is next time he comes to the start-finish banner, I do believe it is the final lap. So we'll see what Ben Shuilong can do here, as Casey Shun is sitting with Carl Axel Sander, with Sepp, and Quinten has been dropped. Quinten Molyneux, the rider who really dominated last Tuesday across the 3 Omniums during the day, and then come the nighttime he didn't race. He has been distanced from the group. Jeff Rooney is here, Badger is here, but Quinten at 350, he's just chugging along. He currently sits 6th on the overall, but we'll see how this one pans out. We got Moti Pikelny. He's in the chat saying hype. I'm glad you could be here as well as Carl Axel Sander utilizing this. I wonder how much cooperation is going on here as Carl gets a tiny bit of a block. He goes down to 41 kilometers an hour, as you could just see the scoreboard up in the top right hand corner. And again, Carl is being distanced. The rider we have seen dominate in the last week when it comes to the different competitions, he is now feeling the fatigue start to hit in. You have such a high, then you go hard, then you go harder, and then the laws of physiology says, well, you gotta exert energy to be able to do this, as he wipes the sweat off his face. Marines says, come on, Jennifer. She's down in 11th place currently. But Ben Shuilong, a 18-second gap. But this is where you make or break it, Ben, as he is starting the climb here, as he's gotta fight it through, because 1.9 kilometers is remaining, and everybody else behind him have got their inertia, their great responsibility, and their wind at their backs. And Ben has none of them. Carl Axel Sander goes. He uses wind at his back first. Let's see. Then he uses greater responsibility. He's at 67, 69, 70. He's got to be careful. He doesn't go too quick. He's going to go down. He exceeds the quarter speed, and he can't believe it. He worked so hard. He does come back, though, and he goes down again as he uses the inertia. Will we get a third time? No, there's no triple there. Carl Axel Sander cannot believe his luck. We'll get a quick take. Carl, how devastating is that?
Oh, I did check everything except this was the limit on, on this long loop. I didn't check that.
Oh man, Carl, that can happen, 71. We'll let you get back because the racing is heating up on the front. 2 crashes back to back there as he exceeds the corner speed. Casey has got a 6-second gap here, but Quinten is coming back. Quinten Molyneux with a wind at his back. He's been sieving it. He's going to come on through here. 48 viewers watching the heavyweight match here between Quinten Molyneux and Casey Shum. Who is going to come on through? Mouthy Beef, amazing name, says, come on, Ben, you can do it. But I think Ben is in a world of suffering here. 5 seconds is the gap. Quinten, Casey. Quinten has got a 3 kilometer an hour speed differential here. He looks fresher as he's in the TT position. I wonder if Casey's starting to think, is Quinten gonna come on the very last finishing straight and come over the top? Mutt KG says, I can feel a sprint coming. We've got 400 meters to go. As Casey stands up, he applies a bit of pressure. The gap is down to 3 seconds here, but can Quinten come around here at the very last second. It doesn't look like it. As Sebastian Kuhn here may very well come around. Quentin in second place, 5 seconds is the gap, but Casey Shum will take the victory. Very hard fought out. Dark Matter Spire back and forth here. As we can see, Casey Shum cross the finish lines. We've got 2 more races up. Quentin Molinez in second, Sebastian Kuhn in third. Then Ben Shuilong has got to keep Jeff Rooney off his wheel here. He's closing him down, but he's going to run out of real estate as Ben Shuilong comes over the line next. Then we've got a Badger and Carl Axel Sander, who, I mean, from hero to zero in 2 crashes and almost 3 crashes. Now, I know a lot of you are tuning in for the first time. I see Mr. Marcy, I see Mouthy Beef, I saw Calm Tempest. These riders are using their legs as the controllers. So when Carl goes quicker on his bike, when he stands up and applies the pressure, that means his avatar in the game will react accordingly. As Homer Thompson here with a great responsibility. This is Homer trying to pip Carl on the line, but he just runs out of space. You could see the panic on Carl's face as there was a very quick Homer Thompson. Nils also crossed the line, and Jennifer is just resting up, and we'll see. She's got 5 minutes to finish this one before we come to the next race on Dust Bowl Crit. And we've got the highlights once again. Ben Shuilong, a man so brave, he went a lap and a half out to try and go solo. Something that most don't dare, but he went. We've got Ordinal Access says, "Hi, I love you, Ben. You go, babe." I hope that is somebody in the Ben household. So yes, these racers that you're watching on the left, this is a live view into their homes. As you can see the agony on Carl's face as he crashes down. They use their legs as controllers. Their bikes, their own personal bikes, are connected to devices called turbo trainers. And the faster they go, the faster their avatar in the game goes. When they go uphill, they feel that. When they go downhill, they feel that. And when they have a headwind, drafting, all these cycling physics have been applied to the game. Then you add a bit of gamification, sprinkle, spice on top. You put it in the oven, and you give it a bit of like air fan, 200 degrees, 20 minutes, and you've got CVRcade. So we'll see how this one is going to pan out, because we've got Dust Bowl Crit up next. We get Casey celebrating. We've got Casey in the stream. Casey, when Ben went, what was the first thought that went into your mind?
Just to stay pushing. So essentially, if everybody maximizes the power-ups, when Ben goes early, he has to keep his pace up solo, where I could continue to ride with Sebastian and Carl to keep my pace up. So it was all about kind of managing the gap and then getting the huge power-up run. I mean, that's really what made it or break, at the end. I got more out of my power-ups than Carl and Seb. Q was coming, and I think he tried something different because he's got nothing to lose, essentially. He maximized points this morning, so I think he tested something there and almost caught. But, I mean, that was tough. That was very close to the same watts as I did on Saturday when I bumped my curve by 15 watts. So, I mean, that was brutal, everything we had for 22 minutes.
Now, I also need to get your take, because Carl didn't just crash once with the inertia, he managed to crash twice. Was there a tiny bit of you that just looked over and went, thank you, that wasn't me?
Yeah, I mean, I knew how not to crash with the inertia, so I didn't look to see what pace Carl had with the inertia. I just heard you say he crashed, which I knew it was game over then. But, yeah, I mean, I knew where to use it and how to send it, that I knew I was completely safe. I had done it at least a dozen times on the keyboard.
Well, that's what the practice comes in for. Let's go and hear from the Madman. Now, Ben, that attack, if anything, it gained you a massive fan in Ardenoid Axis 1373. But talk me through that attack. That was just madness.
Well, I thought I would try and attack on the penultimate lap rather than the last lap, which is what everyone else is going to do. So, I thought I'd try and get a big gap and hopefully not have anyone chase me. And I got quite a big gap, but clearly it wasn't enough. And so obviously the pack being what it is, they had an easier time than I did out on the front. Yeah, it was kind of funny seeing Carl crash. Sorry, Carl, but I knew the corner was 72 max, and I could see he was just over that. So that put a little smile on my face, but unfortunately everyone else kept going by afterwards. So
I love it. It was great to watch, Ben. Ben, you're currently close with Quentin, Seb, Carl, and Jeff. Out of those, looking behind you, looking forward, this next bit of racing coming up, who do you think is going to give you a good run for your money?
Well, I think Seb will definitely give me a run for my money. I'm not sure. I don't think he raced earlier today, but you can never discount Quentin and Carl and Jeff. So you know it's going to be tough to stay second place even, let alone try and get to the top.
That's CVRcade racing for you in a nutshell. Good luck, Ben. Good luck, Casey. We've got Quentin in the stream, Carl in the stream, Jennifer. Badger, I believe, has also joined in the stream here. I do see, so we'll see when he gets ready. He was racing in the last one, and he's currently 47 points down. We'll let everybody get ready as there's only 25 seconds to go, and this race has racer's edges and ability. We saw it catching a few riders out. We've also got a wind of 7 kilometers an hour. I missed this, I'll be honest. I completely missed this in Zone E earlier today, but we will keep an eye on it. It also caught Quentin out, and he crashed in the very first tricky chicane. We'll see if he's learned his lesson as he sprints out of the gate here. And this is the highest scoring multiplier of the day. 2.5 times the base score of 30. So you really want to take this one because it's very close at the top. Casey, Quentin, Seb, Ben, Jeff, Carl, Jennifer, Badger. Everybody's got a chance, but we see riders going down. Sebastian overlapped the wheels. Badger has gone down. Tam's gone down. Wim's gone down. Oh, so many riders have gone down. And Badger goes down again here. I'm not even sure what that one was. But Badger starting out the racing here with 2 back-to-back crashes, and the same happens for Sebastian again. So that could be Seb out of the racing already, unless he miraculously returns to the front as Tam goes down. The racer edge ability really putting on display those that have practiced, those that have learned how this increases it. And Ben Shuilong overlaps the wheels with Casey, and he goes down. He crashes again. As soon as he gets up, Ben with back-to-back crashes on the descent here. And now he's got to work to come on through. So not only do you have the tricky wind, you've also got the racer's edge here as Jennifer exceeds the corner speed limit here, falls through over the edge. For some, this is going to be a long race. And one of them is Tam Burns. Tam, talk me through your experience. What's happening out on track?
I'm falling.
You gotta keep the rubber side down, Tam, but I'll let you figure out the speeds and the map as we come on through. But this is absolute crash fest near the back, and this is how it's affecting the scoreboard. Casey, Quentin, Jeff make up the top 3. Then you got Carl, Ben, as Carl almost slides out into Jeff, his teammate. He just moves on through, but we're seeing Quentin, who majestically this morning maneuvered this map, and he nailed every corner, he nailed every chicane he came through. And that bit of practice, I spoke to him about it, and he said it was very vital to know where the wind comes from, how the speed is going to be affected when you're trying to brake and you get that tailwind as he just brakes in time. And I think he knows that one too. As he just gets down to 26, he uses path of least resistance here, which reduces the friction between the wheels and the ground. Casey is being joined by Carl Axel Sander, but he too uses a super here to try and get away. We're in the third of 4 races here in Zone K, the first hour of broadcasting. We've got another hour Coming up after this, called Zone L, we'll see a few riders join the stream. We'll have Vibeke, we'll have Timothy, we have Sebastian, we have Ryan all join us in the next hour here as Quentin and Casey make up the top 2 currently out on track. Niels Heldens down in 5th. He finds himself with Ben Shuilong. Both 2 of them have a bit of a struggle when it comes to crashes. Now, I see we got Powerball Wiener in the chat. Says, what have I found? I'm loving it. I want in. Well, Powerball you can. So this is CVRcade. It's available on PC and Xbox. You can play in 3 ways. You can play physically, as you see Niels Heldens powering on the pedals as he's riding his own bike in his own home, controlling his virtual avatar. That's one way of playing. You can play using your keyboard. That's right in front of you right now. That way you just press plus, you press minus, you move left and right. Or on Xbox or with an Xbox controller, you can join in the racing. Just ask Lanceral Storm as Carl exceeds the corner speed here again. So, few things here for Carl to take away. He's taking a few risks here. He's already down. He uses Path of Least Resistance. He's got another crash coming up here, possibly. It comes right in front of him, as Carl doesn't understand why. But Path of Least Resistance reduces the friction between the wheels and the ground. He uses another one! Oh, is he gonna crash again here? He moves to the right. He is taking one left. Now he gets it. Now you could see the moment that it clicked for Carl why he crashed. If we've got that on the replay, that'd be quite funny. I don't think we have it. But Carl Axel Sander, the second he was like, oh, I got it. As we see Niels Heldens here back on the replay. We'll see if we did in fact catch it as we go to Carl Axel Sander. He uses Path of Least Resistance, and the second it clicks, oh, there it is at the end of it. But it's been an interesting day here for Carl Axel Sander, our Swede. For Velocity Vixen, Sebastian goes down as well, down in 5th place. It's just been the ability, the Razor's Edge ability is shaking up things. But one rider that's come through is Jeff Rooney, currently 3rd on the podium, but 2nd on the track on the map. He's 7 seconds up to Quinton as we've got half the racing left here. He comes through as Carl goes down again. Oh, Carl Axel Sander. He is going to be running out of inner tubes, CO2 canisters laying by the roadside. We need cleanup on aisle 3, everybody. Send an intern up. We need somebody here to clean up after the Swedish chef. He's having an absolute nightmare here on Dust Bowl Crit. Oh, it's funny. So, Powerball says, what sort of equipment do I need? You can use your own bicycle. So if you take your own bicycle, that even if you don't have a bicycle, you can buy one on our website, relatively cheap. So you can buy one on our website, connect it to a turbo trainer, which goes in the back wheel, and literally you're riding a bicycle. That's it. You're moving in the game and you can play with us. Now, if you want to try out the game before buying a turbo trainer or buying a bicycle, if you've already got the equipment, way to go. But if you want to try it out before, you can do so on Xbox or on the keyboard on PC, which is really fun. And you can just ask Lanceral, DK, Wim, as we'll see riders in here. Andanoid, I am noticing you. I know Ben is too, but Ben right now is too busy as he's just fallen down again. We'll see how this one finishes as we've got 2.4 kilometers left. Final lap is coming up soon here. Quentin misses Clarence there, does not get blocked by the rider out on course, and he comes on through. Mouthy says, is there any way I can send email out of chat? Mouthy, if you've signed up for the Xbox closed beta, just let us know either on Facebook, send us your email on Facebook, or I think you can just send your email in the chat and the team will see it, and I'm sure the team will see if they can put you on the closed beta list. And yes, Andanoid, you can play as well. As Quentin, 2 kilometers to go. As he crosses the start-finish banner here, we're seeing what's going to happen. Power says, I'm a big road cyclist. I love the idea. Power, you do know they're racing for money, right? Like, last season, Quinton, our rider on our left, won just short of $6,000 on a free-to-play game. This is a cycling game that's gamified that it's really more than a cycling game. It uses a cycling engine, but they're racing for money. Whoever wins this Omnium, Carl goes down again. I'm sorry, Carl. I can just imagine feeling so good and then just making mental mistake after mental mistake as he goes down through the corner. Jeff Rooney goes down as well. He's just left his bike. He's just gone off. He's coming back on. You know, he's putting 1 foot over, getting clicked in. He's like, it's not my day, guys. I'm going to go have some more Vegemite. Jeff is fighting through. Nails is fighting through as he passes Jeff on the left. So Powerball, if you want to race with us, you can do so. It's free to play. Get on the platform, CVRcade.com, and you can download. I hope anybody racing on the physical replay has had better luck with keeping the rubber side down. The majority of these crashes, if not all crashes, are human errors. Not knowing what the super does, path of least resistance, not knowing the corner speed, they can be avoided, and you can have a great run like Quintin Molyneux is having on the front. Pretty much flawless, knowing the corner speeds, knowing the map as Carl goes down again. Make a note, everybody, we're so going to talk to Carl as soon as the race finishes here. Quintin, Casey, 700 meters. These two have put on a masterclass in how to ride it. And what this means is there's a 15-point differential coming into the last track of the zone, the last map, which is Attack the Middle. And now Attack the Middle is something you've never seen before. It is very technical, it's very fun, and if you think you've seen a few crashes, wait and watch this one. Wim says, I did a replay of the Solo Cup and on Xbox, and it took me 2 laps to get to Quintin because I was also crashing a lot. It can happen, but you've got to go slow in order to go quick. We saw Homer, we saw Aaron, they all went slow. They finished just a minute down of Quintin as he now has got 200 meters left. He'll come through the tight hand corner, and Quintin Molyneux, as he comes through, he's got enough of a gap here on Casey. The gap is 10 seconds. We'll see if he's going to sprint to the finish here. I'm not sure. He might be letting Casey come on through and take the win here. So the commissioners might take a look at that, as this is the Solo Cup. I'm not sure whether that was intentional or not, but there was some discussion last week whether teams should be able to have inner teamwork, as we see the sprint between Nils and Sebastian. So we may see the team have a look into it, or we may not. That is up for the commissioners, of course. As Ben comes over the line next, we saw Nils and Sebastian sprinted out. But what that does mean, if we can bring up the scoreboard, is that Casey has 165, Quintin has 130, Seb will have 120.5, Ben, then Nils, then Jeff. Stop with trying to make this less like real cycling. Oh, it's not. There's nothing like that. But sometimes real cycling can get boring. It's very rare that CVRcade can get boring. I commentate like what, 8 hours a week, 10 hours a week here, or used to before Aaron and Beth really stepped in and helped out. It's so much fun. And I'm sure we should go and talk to Carl about that in a second too, as he's had a race to come home and talk about and ride home about. So that's Dust Bowl Crit, the third race here of the zone, coming to an end. We've got one more race coming up, 3 laps of Attack the Middle, and then we have another zone. So if you are captivated and you're watching this and you're having fun, do know that there's a whole nother hour of racing with this coming on through. So make sure, stick around. We've got more racing coming up. As this concludes, we've got more racing. Another hour, we'll see some new faces on the stream, some fresh legs. I think Vibeke Bertram might be on the verge of a great result today, but you'll just have to stick around and see how the racing unfolds. But Casey Shum, 165, Quintin 130, Sebastian 120, and the last race has a scoring multiplier of 2. Now, before we go and chat to Casey and Quintin on the front here, we've got to hear from Carl Axel Sander. Carl, I think he's got his headphones on the wall, so he can't actually hear me right now. So we'll go to somebody else until he solves that. We've got Quintin here. Now, Quintin, we're just watching the finish here. I mean, try and explain what happened that last corner.
I was looking how far back Casey was, and I forgot to brake in time. I usually have a braking point like a few meters earlier, and I just completely lost it. As usual, in the last corner, I'll bomb it.
Okay, so this does mean you're 35 points down on Casey, and it makes you very tough to come around. We'll see how the racing unfolds, Quinton. We got 3 minutes here. I want to make sure we make the rounds. We've got Casey winning that last race. Casey, I mean, looked like you and Quinton pretty much rode that one flawlessly. Was that how you felt as well, out on track?
Oh no, we both wrecked once. I wrecked once early. You were away when that happened, so I let Jeff go. I hit the left arrow instead of the brake when I was going into one of those fast corners, and I wrecked. That Jeff got around me. So I don't think anybody did that race without a wreck. So I think that was fair game right there. That's tough. That was tough.
It definitely looked like it. Now, Casey, 35-point lead here. The bonus points as well coming in hot. What's your history on Attack the Middle?
I don't really know this course. I was just asking others what the corner speeds were. I have no idea. So, yeah, I guess I'll just sit at the front at 20 miles an hour and hope they all stay behind me.
Well, we'll see if that one succeeds. That's a bold strategy, but Casey Shum, everybody, current leader on track. We'll try Carl once more, but I think he may have just thrown his headset on the wall. Carl, are you able to hear me currently? Nope. He is busy messing with his heart rate strap in the game, which, by the way, is working. I have just noticed that Carl's heart rate is, in fact, working in the game. So he gets the heart rate working, but then something doesn't quite click, and he falls down. I love Carl. Carl on the stream is amazing. Let's go to Ben, who currently sits 4th out on track. Ben, 4th here. That last race, a few too many crashes. How about this one?
Well, I've been getting, it sounds like an excuse, but I've been getting quite a lot of lag. The first crash was my fault. I tried to brake on a corner and I slid out into Casey. But unfortunately, I'm getting some internet issues at home, I think. So it's been tricky. It's such a technical course. But we'll see. I'll race this last one hard and see if I can make it back up to the podium. And then maybe try and fix my computer for the next zone.
You've got to tell the kids to get off Frozen. Frozen 1, Frozen 2, they're great movies, but you can only watch them 20 times before you get bored of them. Ben, good luck in this next one. Let's get a quick final word from Niels Heldens, because he is just about 12 points down on Ben. Niels, we saw you crash on Dark Matter Spire. Are you amped up to give it everything in this last race?
Yeah, I'll go with yes. It's not a course I like because it's just you get off at the start and they basically ride single file all the way. So I'm not a huge fan of this course, but we'll see what we get from this. Yeah, should be well fun. It's not quite the right word, but it should be entertaining probably.
I like it, Nils. We got 38 seconds. Thanks for taking the time there to go with me. I know it's close to the race beginning, but 32 seconds remain before the next race gets underway. You can see the full scoreboard. Casey, Quinton, Sepp, Ben, Nils, Jeff, Carl, Homer, Jennifer, Badger, Ryan, Tam. There's a long list of riders out there. And as this race concludes, everybody, we do have another zone coming up. Same 4 races, but it'll probably be a different outcome. Or will it? We may just see Casey come back and try his luck in Zone L. So here we go. From the gun here, it is very important to have a big sprint. It is a single file sprint here. And Casey Shum with a big burst of energy right out of the gate. Him and Quinton fighting. And it is Quinton who gets into turn 1 in pole position here. Tam has crashed down in 11th place. We're watching the front here. How do you overtake on Attack the Middle? You got 1 Quantum Shift, 1 Racer's Edge here, as we've got 2 Cycling Hub members on the front. Jennifer here in 4th getting ready. Homer has crashed. Tam has crashed. Batcher's down in 9th. You got Ben in 8th. Carl 7. Nils And how this affects the scoreboard, we will see. If we can bring up the scoreboard on the top right here. Meanwhile, Ben Shuilong is trying to go through as many riders as he can. He passes 2. He's still got Quantum Shift. Can he go all the way? He gets blocked. Oh, he goes right into the wheel of Quinton there. And then, with his Quantum Shift being used, he's going to have a tough time maneuvering through the group. But Casey leading, Quinton, Sebastian, Ben, and Jennifer has snuck in to the top 5. And with bonus points on offer for matching kit, for streaming in with video and audio, who knows where she might end up at the end of this. So we'll see how this one ends, as we've got 1.9 kilometers to go. The racing is slowly setting up. Jennifer is in a team cycling hub sandwich here with Casey on the front and Quinton on the back, and Casey is attacking. He wants to get away here. 225 points. Casey is about to do the invincible. Casey has won 3 out of 4 races. If he wins this one, he will have won every single race of Zone K. And if we look behind him, it is up to Jennifer Garcia to close the gap down. And so far, she's not entirely succeeding. And the magnification of this, the big picture for Casey is that he's trying to score as many points as possible for the overall points gathering, so that his seeding come the grand finale is optimized. That way, he gets the most amount of rest. That way he's got the most opportune chance of going on and taking a big result. But here's Jennifer. She's being passed by Ben, by Sebastian, by Carl, by Quinton. Everybody comes through as Sebastian gives it everything here with a razor's edge. He's got to be careful though. There is the ability to slide out in one of these corners, but he's got Casey in his sight. He wants to ruin the invincible. 1 kilometer to go. He comes on the left here. He looks back to Casey and he says, "Not today, my friend." There's not going to be. And Casey, he's going to have to work hard here, because Sepp can't be the only one, as we're on the last lap, who's hungry for more. And with this move, Sebastian moves into second position on the overall scoreboard as they pass Tam Burns, who's being passed out on track. Sebastian second, Quinton third, Ben, Carl, Nils, Jennifer's moved off the top 5 here. This is, of course, pending any officials or any bonus points being added and any amendments by the race commissioners. And Casey, with a racer's edge here, he's got to have Quantum Shift ready, and he does. 400 meters to go, and he goes on the front. Oh, he slides on out, and he crashes. He slides through, exceeds the corner speed, and Casey Shum, with almost a perfectly timed attack, sees the invincible go out as Carl Axel Sander gets blocked in the wake of Casey Shum's mistake. Sebastian Kuhn zips up the jersey. He's ready. He takes the victory here on Attack the Middle. Quinton Molyneux will take second place, 1.5 point ahead of Sebastian Kuhn. Ben Shuilong comes across in third. That secures him 4th place provisionally. Then Carl Axel Sander will come across the line in front of Casey. Casey was 1 mistake away from a perfect Omnium, and he knows it. That could be the difference maker come the end of this when it comes to the seeding, because you really want to be in that top end here, as we see Badger on the back here being in 10th place crossing a line. But that was Zone K. We'll get a few words. We've got 5 minutes until the next zone begins, which is Zone L. We've got Vibeke joining us in later, as we've got Niels Heldens here. You can see the full scoreboard on display. Let's bring up the instant replay. Now, that was a fun zone. That was absolutely chaotic. Everybody was everywhere. There were moves, there were plays, there were mistakes being made, and there were some good storylines on display in the first zone. Now we get to do it all again. As you can see, the race on Attack the Middle as the riders moved on through. This was the top right. The 225 was the number that Casey really wanted to take away, but this one crash, the one crash as he comes on through, exceeds the corner speeds, and crashes over the edge. This saw Sebastian Kuhn. Now, we do have Sepp joining us in the broadcast for the second zone here, and he looks like he wants more. I mean, the way he finished that race off, mightily impressive. We've got 5 minutes until the next zone begins, so let's go and have a chat with the winner, preliminary winner of Zone K, Casey. How much do you wish you could take back that crash?
I mean, yeah, we always want to win, right? I didn't know the corner speed. I knew I was pushing it. I think the ruling was if I would have went far left, I could have made the slide and made the corner. I don't know. I'm not really that worried about the points, to be honest with you, Jesper. I mean, more points is better, but I won the Omnium, I won the money, and I scored more points than anybody else today except for Quentin. So we're still going to be sitting on the top of the leaderboard. So points kind of matter. But give me some green. We won. We had fun. It was a mental mistake that lost it. So, yeah, it's fun.
Well, won some green, $30, KC, preliminary. What's that going to go towards?
Not sure. I just got a dog diagnosed with diabetes. So probably most of this money is going to be buying insulin.
I'm sorry to hear that, Casey, but at least this is a bit of a help here. We do have Sepp in the broadcast here, as we'll just make the round. Sepp, that last race, you took the victory, but it looked like you wanted more from that Omnium. You take second overall. What about Zone L here?
I have nothing left in my legs. I gave all in the last zone.
Seb, I never know what... I don't know whether to trust you or not. I don't know. Like, we have this relationship here, Sebastian, and you always come on, you say you're tired, and then you just find another legs. I feel like we need to go see a therapist or something, you and I, because we got to take this forward. But Seb, good luck. Zone L is coming up next. We did have Quentin Molyneux in the last race come across in third place. Quentin, only a point and a half there separating you from winning $5 more. Is that something you wish you could have taken back?
No, not really. I still got second place, right?
We'll see. We have to wait. Official results, we all know Jesper Math.
Well, preliminary, yeah.
That's why I say preliminary. Always saves me, the fancy word.
Yeah, I'm happy with this zone. The main... I didn't need to race it for points, like Casey already stated, because it's only my best result that counts anyway. So yeah, I'm happy with it. Second place, hopefully preliminary, is everything I could ask for.
That's great, Quentin. Well, have fun. I think you're doing this one up next, so we'll see if the legs can hold up. I know you said you needed a stretcher earlier, but I mean, if anything, we got to make sure we get it on stream. Good luck in the next race, Quentin. So now the racing is coming up. We've got a few new faces joining us in the broadcast. One of them is Mr. Actually, let's see if Carl finally put on his headset. I don't think he has. I think Carl still has his headset off to the side. And again, if you want bonus points for streaming in, you do need audio and video at all times. If you don't have audio available, you do not get the 10 extra bonus points. So pending the official inquiry by the team's committee, Carl might not get the 10 extra bonus points for audio, having that available. And as I see, Vibeke has come in. 1:40 to go. We've also got Timothy Tamont joining us. Or not, coming on in. I'm getting a shake of my head here from the side. We'll see. Electric Rush 4 laps coming on up. If Vibeke is available to do audio, let's check it out. Because I do see Vibeke is rocking some sunglasses. Because this, I think audio, I think she's literally just disconnected from the broadcast, so we'll wait on her to come back. That is unfortunately some bad timing, as she's just back in. Let's try it again. Vibeke, is that the Alison Kubota look you're trying to emulate?
Well, have you seen this course we're racing?
Yes.
With all the glitter and glamour, I need sunglasses.
It is very, very shiny, but you know, if this turns out to be the way you win, it could stick around, you know.
Maybe. Who knows?
How is the
like
legs today? Very much. It looks, I mean, I'm all in for gimmicks and, you know, certain personality traits. I love Alison. I love that as well. 40 seconds to go, Vibeke, shortly. This zone, is this going to be the Vibeke Bertram show?
I'm not sure. Who knows? I have some problems today, so I'll just see how it goes.
Well, at least you've got sunglasses on, so you win the cool competition. Good luck, Vibeke, in this next race coming up. Next zone coming up is Zone L. We go once more. $30, or green, as Casey Shum called it, is up for grabs here. We'll see who is going to take it. 10 seconds. I see we've got 12 riders taken to the start list here on the second zone, Zone L. Here we go. Now, Ryan Goldenberg has joined the stream as well. He's been somebody who has been doing better and better, but we've just been missing the top spot on the podium for him. Can today be the day? This is a zone, you know, filled with diversity in terms of racing from across the world, genders, and, you know, abilities of racing their bikes, and that's all thanks to physical equalization. These riders, you heard what a few of the riders said in Zone K. Anyone can really be a threat on any given day. It turns out to who is the freshest, who's been practicing, when does it click. I do see we've got Sunshower joining us in the chat. It's good to have you back in here, Sunshower. Thank you for hosting us as well as Homer Thompson comes on through. I do see that Timothy Tamut has joined into the broadcast. This is his first zone of the day, so we get a thumbs up from the Team Hive captain. So what can he do? We saw Ben attempt. We saw Jennifer attempt in Zone K. They both did great, but they're missing the top spots in the solo competition here. Well, Timothy Tamut, on these 4 tracks that all should suit him somewhat, can he come through and deliver a result they've been waiting for? We all know that Cognition, as a team that Sebastian rides for, whenever they win prize money, it is the team philosophy principle as what in the world Sebastian Kuhn has put on. I think he went through Jan Ulrich's stash and he found a pair of old school power glasses, and he is ready to rock in this one. As Sebastian Kuhn, cool as a cucumber. Let's see how this one's gonna turn out, as that caught me off guard completely. But Cognition, they do pool their money, so whenever they win money, it goes into a pool and they share it between the racers. Different philosophies for different teams. And now, look, Vibeke, this is what you've started. Now Niels Heldens, with the ultimate poker move, has put on a cap so we can't see his eyes. You can no longer see the suffering. And this is all started by one Dane. And that is proof of concept that Danes start every good trend in the world. So we'll see. 1 kilometer remains here of the first race of Zone L. 9 riders are in the front group here. Every single rider ready for the sprint. Quinton is moving on to the side. He's fiddling with something on the side. Does he know we're on electric rush, not electric fidget? As he changes the glasses mid-ride. Timothy, what are you bringing to the table? I've seen no commitment from you yet. 600 meters to go. He's got the Hive shirt. We'll let the chat decide whether or not what's going to happen here. Jesper, why do you keep talking about teams in the Solo Cup? Oh, I'm just talking about trade teams. There's no real team crossover in terms of gameplay from them, but this is how the riders are defined. What team do they ride for, what country they're from, but it's Vibeke who's attacking here. It's Ben Shuilong, 200 meters to go. Timothy, we can almost just see the top of his head here on the broadcasting screen as Casey, Timothy, Ryan, Sebastian as well. Preliminary, looks like Ryan, we're waiting. It's Casey Shum who takes the victory ahead of Sebastian Kuhn, Ryan Goldenberg, Quinton Moniz, Ben Shuilong, and Neil. So Casey winning 4 out of 5 races here. My math is complete. Guys, don't commentate while sick. Don't try to do complex, entertaining of people, gathering of masses while operating on a poor curve. My curve definitely needs to be checked after this. As we get the instant replay again. Timothy looks like he's going a bit early as he moves to the front. He yo-yos to the back here. Then Quinton stands up. He goes. He moves on through. It's Vibeke. It's Ryan on the front. But you really don't want to be the first rider to initiate the sprint. You want to be second, third, fourth, fifth, and move on through. And then come over at the very end. And again, timing it to perfection, because Casey's not even in the top 4 until like 75 meters to go. In the last 50 meters, Casey Shum on the bike throw I mean, Casey, what's your secret? Because that's twice in a row now where we don't see you for the longest time until the bike throw.
Yeah, it's Mr. Where Did He Come From? Yeah, it was just a good cool-down race there. Winning some dollar bills. I guess I got to keep going for a bit now that I won one.
You have to. You've got to try and see, because if you now go on to win 7 out of 8, that one, you'll just be thinking about it constantly.
Yeah, it still paid the same, though.
Well, we all know, we all know. Casey, good luck here if you stick around for the next one. We've got Sebastian. Sebastian, I want to know, those glasses, how old are they?
I bought them last week, I think.
Well, there you go. Where did you buy them? What brand are they? Where can our users get a similar set of glasses?
I don't know. It was an old man on a parking lot.
That sounds like the trusted, most trusted source of getting any glasses. If you need glasses, guys, it's the man on the parking lot. Seb, Lex, first race done. I know you're dead. Are you even deader now?
No, I'm feeling great now.
You see, guys? You see? This is what he keeps doing to me. This is what Sebastian Kuhn does. Guys, we need to sit down on the couch. Seb, good luck in Dark Matter Spire coming up next. 5 laps. We've got greater responsibility and inertia. Ryan has joined the broadcast. He came across the line in 3rd. First of all, welcome to the broadcast. Ryan, how's your day been so far?
It's been good. You know, I woke up, watched Zone E. You know, I watched the recorded Zone E. I wasn't actually up that early. And then I was kind of just practicing the tracks in Zone K, so hopefully I'm fresh from a Lakes perspective. I brought my orange Solo Cup behind me to commemorate my first week really racing the Solo Cup. So yeah, I'm gonna give it what I can today.
Aren't they supposed to be red? Isn't it a red Solo Cup?
They are, but velocity is purple and orange, so it's got to be one or both of those colors.
We'll give you a pass this time around, Ryan. Good luck here in the next race. I want to hear from Nils, though, because Nils put on a cap there at the very end. Nils, do you always keep, like, Ferrari caps nearby in case you need to put one on?
I have plenty, so I always have one around here. So I just thought it was a fun idea by Viveka, so I might as well do it. You know, it doesn't really matter anyways, it's just a no-score event.
Appreciate it. It makes for a fun stream here, Nils. Now, you gotta go again. This is where we saw you crash in the last zone. Have you learned your lesson?
Yeah, not crash. That's the lesson. It's quite hard with that because it requires a lot of power. And to be honest, I've been off since 4 a.m. because I had to go to uni. So it's been a long day, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens, Nils. Good luck in this one. We got Timothy as well joining us in the broadcast, joining us late so we couldn't go chat to him. Timothy, Sonel, CVRcade Solo Cup. What can we expect from you today?
Hopefully something better than that first race. Not sure what happened there, but I got 7th, and normally I do like pretty decent in the no-skill events. So yeah, not sure what happened there. Might be something wrong with the timing on the electric rush. But we'll work on it, do a few replays of that one. And this one, it's a long race, but with the power-ups, it makes it pretty interesting. So let's hope we can do well here.
I look at these tracks, Timothy, and they all seem to be in your wheelhouse. They're all technical. They've all got series of supers that can change the racing. I mean, how's the pressure feeling on you? Because this feels like a Timothy Tamont kind of omnium.
Well, there was no pressure, but it's the 3rd time you said that, so it's slowly building up the pressure, but nah, we're good. There's not too many super long races, so should be fine.
It's only 37 people watching you, and one of them is Glenn, and Glenn will let you know every mistake you do, exactly like you did on Thursday in the Derny Cup. We'll let you get ready, Timothy, for the racing that's ahead. Dark Matter Spire, 40 seconds to go. If anybody is doing this on a physical replay, which I know a few of you are, make sure you've got your towels, you know, by your side, you've refilled your beat-ons, and come race with us. Because if you want to race these exact omniums in the way they unfold, and you think you can do better, because I know Wim tried it this morning, and he said it was quite difficult. You can do so in the game. Physical replays, great invention. It means you can ride exactly when you want, how you like it, and at the pace you would like it. 10 seconds to go, and the racing will get underway. Quinten Molines, he's put on his sunglasses here. He wants to hide his poker face. He wants to join the dress-up party as we get underway for another 5 laps of Dark Matter Spire. Let's see if I can keep track of the laps this time, if I can understand when it's half the racing is through. So you see Quinten on the inside, Ben on the outside. In the last race, it was a very collective group until about the halfway point when Ben, Casey, Seb really broke up the racing here. So we'll see if that will be more of the same here, or some tired legs will start to be on display as Timothy is moving to the front here. We did see Homer Thompson, who earlier this morning just tried to rip the legs off of everybody else. He adopted the Sebastian Kuhn mindset of riding and racing that went to the front. Those that want to stick with him, they can stay with him. Those that don't, you can go right off the back. And so we might see Sebastian try the same thing here. He did try that in Zone K earlier today, but right now Vibeke Bertram is moving up on the left here. It says 121 on her equalized heart rate, but it may just be catching up here as she is tacking here on the outside with Quinten moving up. You can kind of feel the tension between the riders. They're on one long line. Nobody kind of trusts another rider to be behind their wheel. They all don't really care about the drafting. They want to stay comfortable in their position. Now, Casey is the exact opposite of this. He just wants to save as much energy as possible, and when the time is right, he will make a move at other people. And as I say that, Casey, I believe that's called the commentator's curse. I'll let you figure out whether you're going further up the road or tapping out on that initial crash. If we do have that on the replay, let's roll that as Casey, happy as, ever, sitting here, saving his energy, and for a second he forgets to check his mirror, and there's Homer Thompson for the second time today going, "What's up, homie?" and forcing another crash. As Glenn says, "Yikes." That is a mistake you'd like to take back, as Casey now down in 15th. He looks to be just taking it easy here on the cooldown. Sebastian moving up on the outside. He's got Quinten on the inside, Ben behind him, Niels behind him, as we see the provisionary scoreboard in the top right hand corner. Before the commissioners come in, before any of the bonus points are applied, this is how it's looking. Timothy, Ryan, Quinten, Sebastian, it's all moving back and forth early here in the racing. I do like this comment though from MuttKG, and if we can turn on Casey's audio for this one. Casey, MuttKG is saying, could you at least look tired, Casey?
Yeah, I was just hoping to sit on the draft there. Homer just had a run coming. He probably had 10 kph on me, and I jumped over, and he was there before I realized it. So, but definitely hurting.
That's okay, Casey. That mistake would make for a great highlight, so thank you very much. We'll be able to see that one on the social medias later today. Casey Shum, everybody, winner of the first zone, still in the racing here. DK cheering for Vibeke, fellow Dane in there. What is she bringing to the table so far? We got Timothy on the right here. You got Quinten on the left as the first lap is already completed here and they get ready to go on the attack. We see Ryan Goldenberg celebrating his first real week of the CVRcade Solo Cup by bringing in an orange Solo Cup here, celebrating Team Velocity. Now, this is the Solo Cup. I did get called out by Wim earlier, and I will just double check this, establish this, that this is no team involved in this. It's just my way of establishing the riders as Timothy, the team captain of Hive, Belgian. But here, what used to be teammates are now opponents. We saw Quinten and Casey go back and forth in K, and Quinten seems to be feeling the efforts here as Ryan is attacking on the front. He's got Timothy with him, and the gap is opening up. FOG is asking if Vibeke crashed. No, we've not seen Vibeke crash. It was Casey Shum who crashed earlier in this race, overlapping his wheels with Homer Thompson, but so far Vibeke has been riding on her own, just making sure to stay with it. I'm not sure what's happening with the equalized heart rate. It could be just the device isn't connected on Vibeka's side. But currently saying 99, you can see she's adopting the strategy we all learned with Timothy Tamon. If you just slap the heart rate, it turns on. That's what Timothy learned the hard way last week in the racing, as we get a thumbs up. Glenn says, how far are we into this race, Jesper? That's a loaded question. He's just trying to catch me out there with some easy math. We've got the distance remaining just above the Solo Cup logo. You'll see 8.3 on the right, Glenn. And no, that is not halfway done with the racing yet. We're not quite there yet, Glenn. I'll let you know when we get to that point. But the early attack by Timothy and by Ryan has been neutralized by Quinton Molyneux, who has bridged the gap up here. Vibeke, Ben, Sebastian are a bit further back. But what we did see in Zone K is that the supers combined together, great responsibility, inertia, and the two wind at your backs allow for a quick and swift momentum change. We'll see if somebody will utilize that as Vibeke and Sebastian. Two engines. I mean, they're just missing Homer Thompson here, and they have the trifecta, maybe also Alison Kubota. Then you've just got engines for days, as they are currently sitting in here. We'll go and check in with Ben again, as he always seems to be sitting at 160. There might be a reason for that. We have lost Ben Shuilong as he has left the broadcast, but he's still racing in here. As FOG kindly reminds me that 5.9 kilometers to go will be the halfway point. Well, with that information, everybody, we can all agree what the halfway point is. Guys, I was just going off the visual loading bar, and to me, and to my head, which is full of just mucus or mucus, whatever it's called, that did not look halfway. But as we've established, sometimes not all gears are, you know, indexed and turning. I mean, the battery in the Di2 definitely needs some recharging. But we can keep track this time. We can all do a collective effort. But Vibeke is closing the gap here with Ben. Quinton feeling the suffering. Niels not crashed yet, but he's slowly off the back here. So wondering what's going to be the outcome for him as he moves on through. Niels, are you going to ride the Homer Thompson train to the finish line?
Hopefully, I'll just help him out a bit on the climb on the descent again. Yeah, not very fun this.
I'll let you concentrate in. I see Mark KG saying, we love you, Jesper, with a few O's in there. Love you too, Mark KG. All is fair and square in the chat. Whenever you come on here, you've got to be ready, as we can see how the racing is unfolding on the front. We're almost near the halfway point, everybody. We've got 6.5 kilometers to go. We're nearing it. Just got to keep an eye on it. As you can see, Vibeke, Sebastian, Timothy, they have all adopted the mighty V from the Ducks. You know, they're getting ready here. They're getting in formation behind the goalpost. Got Goldenberg getting ready here to move on up. As you can see, the Canadian on the left-hand side. Timothy, just laser focused. For these riders, this is their highlight of their week. They go to work, they think about CVRcade, they eat, they sleep, they rest, they walk around the house, and they just think, how do I use this super? What about that corner speed? What about this? What about that? What about this? And that's why some of the best, they just keep practicing. I mean, Nigel Doyle, Casey Shum, Quinton Molyneux, Timothy Tamont, even Vibeke yesterday on Tiki Turns, she would just not stop riding on a keyboard. It was very fun to ride with her. As we can see, Sebastian is coming on through here. He's moving on up. He just rests up for a second as Ryan swings all the way to the left. Somewhat lucky there not to overlap his wheel with Sebastian Kuhn. By the way, everybody, has anyone noticed we've reached over the halfway point? That constitutes a GIF in the chat. Over halfway done in the racing, and Jesper actually counted correctly this time, with help from FOG. Let's drop some GIFs in the chat. Let's lighten up the chat here. We do have 43 people tuning in. Let's see your best GIF game. I do love those competitions because you never really know what people bring out. There are some strange GIFs in the chat as Vibeke moving on the front. If we bring up the scoreboard, once again, this is just the second race. You can see how close it is from first through sixth. Even Casey Shum is actually coming back. Casey, 30 seconds down. He's riding with the bots down here. He's not totally out of the racing here. He could potentially come back if the front group doesn't go quicker. The Heavy is doing about 345 watts here, and Casey is just sticking on it, sitting there. And with those equalized watts, he does have a possibility of snatching up some more points here. So do not count Casey out for the rest of the Omnium. Just because he crashed in this one, he might come back. I do like that Glenn comes in with the math gif in there. Love it, Glenn. Thank you very much. I'm not sure what you're trying to insinuate with that awesome gif, but we've got an attack. It's Vibeke Bertram who's being distanced as the attack on the front is being initiated by Ryan Goldenberg and Timothy Termont. So Vibeke off with the glasses as we get Homer Simpson in there. That is funny. Homer Simpson. I do miss Homer on the stream. Should always look to get Homer in when he's racing. But Vibeke off with the glasses. She is now concentrating. She wants to be done with the games and get ready in here and race for the money, the fame, and the points that come with the top 3 positioning. And she is slowly increasing on the rest here. But this incline, it hurts. You've got 4.2 kilometers to go. It's about 3.9. It's Hey DJ with a cycling gif. Now that's very basic. Hey DJ, give us another gif. Give us another gif in here. Let's see what you really got. Anybody can post a cycling gif in the chat. We need something more, you know, a bit more imaginative. But we rated as Vibeke. Wind at her back. We got Ryan Goldenberg as well with the first greater responsibility. It's been popped at the top. 63 kilometers here. Let's see. Will it run out before the corner? Is it low enough to not crash? So far, so good. But Ryan Goldenberg, despite using those supers, has not gained too much of a gap. Vibeke with great responsibility. I saw great responsibility being popped there, and she got blocked, I think. I think she may have just gotten a face full of Quinten Molyneux. She's a 191. We won't come to her right now, so we want her to, you know, be able to do her best as she's barely on the edge. But Quinten, we're 185. Was that a block on Vibeke?
I just stayed in my lane. I think she's just a little bit too much with her head down. I didn't know if I was going to go to the side or not. I figured I'd just stay still because I didn't want to accidentally block her, but I ended up doing that.
Well, on purpose or not, excellent gameplay. Play to your attention, but played in your way, and now Vibeke is suffering because her greater responsibility is gone. I see FOG with a SpongeBob SquarePants emoji. That was Mr. Oh, what's the burger place called? I can't remember. Aaron Starboy having fun as well. Those are the gifts. That's what I like to see. Chip had a cat as well in there earlier. That's the game I want to see. Mutt KG is enjoying it as well. Ryan, 18 second gap here as we're about to enter the last lap of racing. He has got a 5-point lead here over Sebastian Kuhn as we see him trying to maintain this. But this is exactly how it unfolded in Zone K, as Ben Shuilong had a gap coming into the last lap, and now it's the exact same scenario, but instead of Ben Shuilong, the French Brit, it is now Ryan Goldenberg, the Canadian who's gone up the road here. Can he sustain the gap to Timothy, to Sebastian? And then Ben Shuilong is down in 4th. Now, I'd be worried if I'm Ryan, because this hill coming up here, Sepp and Timothy, they both have their supers available, and even Sepp has taken off the glasses, so you can tell it's all fun and games in the low skill event, in the beginning of the next skill event. But when it comes to the business end, everybody takes off their extra items of clothing. And now we're going to see the attack here from Sebastian Kuhn, from Timothy Termont. Who's going to go first? Right now, it is Timothy increasing the speed on the front. FOG says, the eye twitch was me looking at the logo not centered under the tile. Don't worry, FOG, that will be fixed for the very next stream, because once you first see it, you cannot unsee it, which is why I have refrained from mentioning it, because now we've said it in the broadcast, everybody will be looking there. Timothy, greater responsibility. Sebastian, greater responsibility. 63 from Timothy, He was at 65, he used it at 63. Sebastian is falling down. No inertia yet from Sepp. Sepp went with greater responsibility, then with wind at his back. Are we going to see an alternative strategy? Is he now going to use inertia? He still hasn't used it. Still hasn't used it. He is keeping it calm here. 3 seconds is the gap to Timothy. Niels has gone down. Niels at the back has gone down. The top 3 riders on the road right now are duking it out. Quinten is trying to come back, but it could be too little, too late. Ryan is starting to feel the burning sensation of the riders behind him. He can feel it's getting hot on his heels as Timothy, Sebastian, they're closing in. 4 seconds is the gap here. The points on offer are significant because it's one of the 2-time scoring multipliers out on the track, out on the Omnium today. Ryan, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. He is going quicker than Timothy Tamon. He's going 3 kilometers an hour quicker. And Sebastian, there goes the inertia. Sebastian with an alternative strategy, greater responsibility, wind at his back, and then inertia. Does cognition know something the rest of us don't? Because I saw Homer Thompson do a very similar strategy earlier today in Zone E, and it didn't really pan out for him. Jennifer Garcia says, Timothy, you've got this, but the gap is growing in the wrong direction for Timothy Termond. Our Belgian Team Hive team captain here in the CVRcade Solo Cup is being put to the test here by Ryan Goldenberg on the front. The Mighty V, the Mighty Ducks here paying off as Ryan Goldenberg goes on and he does the miracle. 100 meters to go. He takes home 60 points and is our current leader out on the track. Second place will be Timothy Termond. As he crosses next, he was briefly at 194 equalized heart rate. Sebastian Kuhn will be third. Quinten Molines will be fourth, depending on where Ben is, but Ben seems to be at the back. Casey's actually come back. Casey is still in fourth on the scoreboard. Now he's past Homer, he's past Vibeke. He's not giving up here. There is some more green for Casey Schum to take home here as he finishes ahead of Homer. Actually, he's got to sprint to the line here. Once more, the man who forced a crash from Niels, the man that forced a crash from Casey, is trying to come through to the line. The finish line beckons, but 2 for 2 today, Homer. Like, if I'm Homer, I go into the track builder, I build Dark Matter Spire, and I put the finish line just 50 meters longer up the road, because then you do that tiny bit better. But that's Dark Matter Spire, everybody. Great racing out here. By the way, Blurry Bulb, thank you very much for tuning in here. You're watching CVRcade. These riders across the world riding their bikes physically at their home. It's connected to a device called the Turbo Trainer. The harder they pedal, the harder they ride, the quicker their avatar moves. They've got to steer right, they've got to steer left, they've got to use their supers. You just saw greater responsibility. Why is this a thing, Blurry? I think you're asking the wrong question. You gotta ask the question, why haven't you found this earlier? Because you're watching Timothy, you're watching Ryan, you're watching people race for money. Quinten, who's in this race, won just short of $6,000 last season. This season, there's $30,000 up for grabs in the prize purse. Again, Blurry, I ask you the question, the right question. Why aren't you racing with us? Do you want to make some green, make some dough, as Casey Schum calls it? That's your chance as we see Ryan Goldenberg come across the line, breathe out, get ready for the next bit of racing. Ryan, congratulations in there. You attempted the bold strategy of going early and it succeeded. Talk me through your decision making.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of use of supers, I'll actually give an assist to Quinten because I copied his strategy and timing from Zone E, and it seemed to work well for him, so I thought, why not give it a try? In terms of using it on lap 4, I figured, I don't know, what was I thinking? I didn't want to save it till the last lap because I thought I could sort of empty the tank on my own. And also with a lot of tired legs from Zone K, I thought maybe people would just kind of back off a little bit once they saw me go, or at least not try to catch. Timothy came close though. I think he got within 2 or 3 seconds, and then I had kind of one more burst just to try to discourage him. But yeah, it worked well. I'm not used to going off the front, but happy with the result, obviously.
Well, it panned out, Ryan. We've got Dustball Crit coming up next, Razor's Edge. Before we talk about this, I just want to get Quinton on the screen right now because Blurry Bulb was asking what this is. Quinton, how does it feel to win just short of $6,000, by the way, in the last season?
It feels amazing. Yeah, it's a big reward for something you like doing. So I can only applaud it.
There you go, Blurry Bulb. Quinton Molinez, winner of Season 1 Grand Finale champion. Thank you, Quinton. Let's go and hear from Sebastian Kuhn, who's in the broadcast today as well. Now, Seb, you're back to feeling great. Where do we stand on the scale of dead to great?
0.
Now you're neutral.
No, I'm feeling fantastic.
Oh, what about this track? What about this map with Razor's Edge? You had a chance to go at it in Zone K. What do you think about Razor's Edge ability?
Yeah, I like it very much. I only crashed 4 times in Zone K, so this is great.
Well, now you got to make sure it's less than 4 times. You're currently second. Everybody's kind of got their eyes on you, Seb. You're always the one everyone just fears. Why do you think it's you that everybody is scared of?
Don't look at that old fat man. I'm 56 years old. Look at the younger guys, Quentin, Timothy. They look much better than me.
That is, of course, very, very subjective, Seb, but we'll see. I think Seb is the master of playing in the broadcasting game in terms of pushing off the responsibility and the pressure. But somebody on the opposite scale, Timothy, next race coming up here, you got a better result than the previous one. This is right up your alley. Like, really gimmicky race with Razor's Edge ability. How much practice have you done?
I just got home before work, so not really much practice with the ability on, but I know the course, I know the speed, so I did see the Zone K race, and I think everybody crashed, Casey said, even Quinton and Casey, so maybe if I just go slow to go fast, Garcia the way, I might be able to win it. We'll see.
We'll see it. The Garcia rule. 50 seconds to go here, Timothy. Good luck as always. Thanks for taking the time. Coming on the broadcast. 50 seconds to go as Timothy crashes here. We'll let everybody get ready, but also on the broadcast today, we've got Niels Heldens, who is in here, who is on the phone. We'll let him get ready for the racing. He's currently sitting in 7th. We've also got Vibeke Bertram, who's sitting down in 9th. We've got Ben Shuilong, who was in the broadcast, but I don't think he's in here anymore. So the kids watching Frozen for the 20th time, you can only hear Let It Go, or what's the new song? I can't remember the new song that's now taking off. But anyway, you know, you get the taste. He's like, come on, kids, I'm racing CVRcade here. If you want Ben and Jerry's tonight, I'm bringing the Jerry's. But we need to make sure to have a chance of racing it, guys. Get off Netflix. 3 seconds to go. Dustball Crit for the 3rd time today. We're going to get underway. During those interviews, we did see FOG, while my voice just cracked, we saw FOG give another 100 sparks, I believe, or embers in the chat. Thank you very much with the message, all guys rule. We'll see now as Timothy slides on through. Quinton and Casey have been masters at this today. Can they ride through this without making a mistake? Casey, though, as soon as I say that, the commentator's curse comes on through. I'll let Casey get on back here because I think Casey has a legitimate chance of scoring a lot of points here despite crashing once in the previous race and crashing again here. We'll see, Seth. We're coming up to the chicane. This is where the majority of the first time crashes happen. Quinton, Timothy, Ben, they make up the front. And you got Sebastian, Ryan, Vibeke, Homer. Homer's on his 3rd zone today. You'll be wondering how much he's got left. And then Sebastian, oh, he can't believe it. He's like, what was I thinking? As he exceeds the corner speed, he slides out to the right, and that he just cannot believe. Vibeke too, but to his saving grace, everybody has at least crashed once here. So that's your one free pass. You have a get out of jail free card, but you've used it. Now you got to make sure when you cross the start finish barrier, you pick up your money. as Timothy with path of least resistance and, he's got double weight lifted here. Double weight lifted as he goes on to the attack here. Saves his path of least resistance. So for a few seconds there, he was 60 kilograms lighter. I mean, talk about that. I'd like to have that in real life. I mean, 60, actually, you just like float away in the air as you're like a helium balloon. But Quinten and Timothy, I think this will be a great finale. These are two riders that have recently really been at each other's throats when it comes to racing, it comes to interviews. Used to be teammates, used to be very good friends. I believe they still are. But here, they've really been, you know, turning up the heat. So what are they going to bring? Casey Shum with a weight lifted comes through Boulder Alley. He sees Homer Thompson and he attacks on through. He breaks down. What about Homer? Homer! He gets his revenge! The crash on Dark Matter Spire has been avenged by Casey Shum here as he falls on down. But as mentioned, if we bring up the scoreboard, Casey's at 116.5 points here in 5th. He's got chances here to come on through and take some very valuable results for him here on Dust Bowl Crit. Quinten and Timothy side by side now. As Timothy comes through again, he's pushing that corner tiny bit more. He's trying to make Quinten make a mistake. When Timothy is on the side of Quinten like this, if Quinten was to slide out, he would slide right into Timothy, and Timothy would force a crash. But the downside of this is that Timothy has to take the longer way around every single time in those corners, and it allows Quinten to take the inside line, get quicker through the corner, and he's now established a gap. We've got the side by side here as we see Timothy on the left, Quinten on the right. They're literally going toe to toe. This is like seeing Tyler Hamilton, Lance Armstrong side by side saying, I'm still here, as they come to the left. Oh! This is going to be tense, guys. Who's your money on, Mixer chat? Give it to me in the chat right now. Team Timothy, Team Quinten. Which of the two are you? This is like Twilight all over again. Team Jacob, Team whatever, Patrick, what his name was, Peterson, I can't remember his name, Patterson. Give us in the chat right now as Timothy with another set. I'm not sure this event is set up entirely correctly. Quinten, Timothy taking advantage of the situation here as he then slows. I think he's waiting here for Quinten. I think he's waiting up for Quinten, letting it be fair game. Let's come to Casey. Casey wants to chat. What's up, Casey?
It's refilling the weight in the path of least resistance. So we keep getting those back.
Ah, I got it. So the event has been incorrectly set up. Thank you, Casey. But nonetheless, the racing happens. Whatever happens when the racing begins, Casey just crashes. That happens. So thank you for delivering that message, Casey. But I'm sorry you went down. Same for Vibeke. But whatever happens when the racing begins, you just gotta live with it. I do think Timothy put on the brakes to let Quinten come on back. But how will this unfold now? So we're nearing the last 2 laps of Dust Bowl Crit. This is the highest scoring multiplier at 2.5 here. So Timothy, Quinten are moving up. Sebastian has gone down again. So from sitting in 2nd place coming into this race, he now moves down to 4th at 119.5 points. Close by, guided by Casey, by Ben, by Ryan, by Quinten. But right now on the top, it's Timothy Termud. But it's fair game, everybody. You're racing it. Of course, the commissioners will always take a ruling. They'll race it. My best advice is race what you've got. Make sure to come to the finish line. You've done your bit. Of course, it's unfortunate, but that's why we've got race commissioners validifying the results as we go along here. So we're seeing the racing heating up. Casey Shum, though, just a testament to how strong he is, being able to crash so many times, yet still be in contention at the top here, as FOG says the same. They all have the same. It's no big deal. Exactly. Make sure to race it all the way through it. By the way, Blurry Bob, I like you. Says, let's go, Timothy. I'm getting into this now. Blurry, if you want to join the chat, if you want to join the conversation, Blurry, earlier today we have Rhythmic Drummer join us on CVRcade Riders on Facebook. I know it's where the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park hang out, but that's really the place. If you want to go see pterodactyls and long necks and T-Rexes, go on Facebook. find the group called CVRcade Riders, and you can go talk to Timothy, you can talk to Quentin, to Ben, to Casey, to Sep, to Ryan, to Homer, to Vibeke. That's where the players lounge is. But Blurry, thank you for tuning in. I'm so glad you're getting into this as well, because this finale is going to be heating up now, because Timothy and Quentin, fair game here. They both know what power-ups are available, and this is going to be intense, because these are two players that specialize in being thrown into unknown environments. When you throw them into a race where the permutations, where the abilities, where the power-ups, they're a bit different, like you've never really done them before, these are two of the riders that pick it up the quickest. As I see, Tangent Vase has joined the chat. Welcome, Tangent Vase. You're watching the CVRcade Solo Cup. The overall price purse for this season is $30,000, and these riders slowing down through the corner here. We're reaching the final lap. Timothy with 1 path of least resistance, Quentin with 2 path of least resistance. All I can say is this racing is just different to anything we've seen before, and I like it. It's very different. It's very powered and powerful with these supers coming into play. But last lap coming up, Casey's got 3 path of least resistance. His acceleration here is gonna be through the roof. You can see he's enjoying it as well. He's got a cheeky smile on his face. Oh, that quickly turned into a grimace, but he had a cheeky smile for a second as he realized the suffering that came through. Ryan overtakes Sebastian. He's only 8 points down here on Timothy on the top, as we watch the top 2 here play it out as they're getting onto the hill. They're attacking on through here. We're going to stay with the front 2 for the last of the race, because this is the heavy match. This is the heavyweight match here. These two are giving it all they've got. And this is Quentin's 3rd zone of the day. 3rd hour of racing. And for Timothy, it's his 1st. He is fresher, he should be feeling it, but Quentin is somebody who never gives up, especially in this situation. We've got 1.1 kilometers to go. That's well over halfway in the racing here as we see them come through. They've got the hill. What power-ups do they have left? How light are they going to go on the hill? Quentin stands up. Timothy, 60 kilograms lighter. Quentin, 60 kilograms lighter. They're at 78 kilometers an hour. Houston, we have takeoff. That's Quentin flies on through. They both slam on the brakes, and this finale is going to be nerve-wracking. Quentin pushes the corner all the way to the left. 195. Timothy at 190. They'll be emptying the tank. They don't care about the next race. This is the one, and Timothy causes the crash. Timothy Termont with the tiny bit of skill required to make Quentin Molyneux make a mistake. And ladies and gentlemen, your winner of the 2020 Team Cycling Hub Grudge match is, if he doesn't crash in this upcoming corner, he knows it. He knows it. Timothy Termont does not want the additional pressure of being declared premature winner here, as he's got one more corner coming through here. And now 23 kilometers an hour. His heart rate right now, he can feel the excitement. He's smiling. He knows it. The relief as Timothy Termont comes across the line. That was epic to see. Quentin will be wishing he could take that one back as Team Cycling Hub. Quentin Molyneux, the Belgian, next one. We've got Fulford Tim saying you should have seen that one coming. Casey, happy with his result. He moves into 4th. Ryan will come across the line in 4th. Sebastian in 5th. Be interesting to hear how many crashes he had. And speaking of which, Vibeke and Ben both went down. We did just see 2 from Sebastian, but we've got a bit of a fight here for the secondary positions. Vibeke and Ben here will watch them as they get ready, because this is for 8th to 6th place. You want to try and move on up. So we'll see. Vibeke versus Ben. Dane versus Britt here as they move on through Boulder Alley. We do not have Ben on the broadcast, but Vibeke is getting ready to move on up. We've got a great sprint on our hands as Vibeke is slowing down. She's braking, and Ben flies through the corner, and with that crash unless we'll just see Vibeke Bertram safely through the next technical corner, and once she's through, we'll see the instant replays, and we'll head to the last map of the day, which is Attack the Middle. Vibeke, you had me worried there for a second. She pushed it to 30 kilometers an hour. She could barely do 0.1 of a kilometer an hour quicker. Vibeke Bertram finishes that race off, and she can write that down in the notebook and say, never again, on to Attack the Middle. But here we go. Quentin, Timothy. This is a match. This is a race that will be discussed. That will be talked about. This one, you could feel the intensity. It felt like it was the CVRcade Solo Cup Grand Finale. This was for all $3,000. And who was going to take it? You see Timothy with a bit of shushing there. Quentin can't believe it. And now here they go. Double path of least resistance. We never see that. The accelerations, as we see the cheeky smile again on Casey's face. He's got new toys to play with. 3 path of least resistance. And he's loving it. As Quentin, Timothy, we get to watch the final play once more here in the instant replay. Timothy comes around Quentin into the corner. He knows exactly what's about to happen, and Quentin cannot believe it as Timothy crosses the line. Timothy Tamont, congratulations, Dust Bowl crit. Man, did that look like it got intense. Was that the grudge match?
Oh no, that was really fun. Like, you see the power-ups, like, in the warm-up, and you see, oh, they're refilling and not like, yeah, you know what I mean. And then I'm like, okay, who's going to notice this? Who's going to notice this? And you didn't call it out, so I knew, like, okay, I got to save him. I got to at least always have 2 weightlifted, because I know Quentin's going to see that. I know he's on top of the game, Casey knows. And then it was a little bit of RNG, I guess, but the first time I used them both, I saw Quentin didn't have it, so I kind of waited a little bit, but not like fully wait for him. So, and then in the end, it was fair game. We both have doubles on the last hill, and it was just to the line. But something I just found, like, it's weird how fast you slow down. If you go like 70k an hour, you go over that hill, and then you try to slow down, and you go instantly to like 30, and I was like, oh, this is weird. But yeah, I got him in the end, and then I just had to keep the rubber side down in that last corner.
All you had to do. Attack the Middle is coming up here next, Timothy. You've got an 8-point lead. Do you think you can secure it?
We'll see. You gotta have a big opening sprint here, so we'll see how I do. I was listening to the broadcast earlier, and I heard Nils say he didn't really like this because it's only the first sprint that counts, but there's a few points on course where you can even crash or where you can take over from somebody. So it's not all of it's important, just like Dartmouth or Velo, the opening sprint, but it's not all. It's not race over if you don't get first there.
Well, Timothy, thanks for that bit of insight. Let's go and hear from Quentin on his side, because Quentin, almost the 3rd time today you wrote that flawlessly. But talk to me, because we heard Timothy's side of the intensity. It felt like that was super intense watching it. Was that how you saw it as well from your side?
Yeah, it was a little bit, well, I'm not going to call it annoying, but it was a little bit off-putting that the powers weren't like set as they were in the previous zones. I saw it from the start, and I got very bad RNG with a lot of path of least resistance. And then I see Timothy pop 2 weightlifted, and then putting a finger up. I mean, I know the guy is not really known for great sportsmanship, but geez.
Well, Quentin, you got a chance here to really get a way back, because if you win this one, I do think you've got a chance of winning first place. Does that last race take into mind now, and you think that bit of extra energy is what you needed?
I'm already on my 3rd Omnium, so I don't think there's any energy left. It's just fumes at this point. Just empty the tank, and that's it.
Well, sometimes when you're fuming, you can go even harder, Quinton. So we'll see. Last race coming up here. Timothy definitely getting on the nerves of Quinton. I think deep down, if Timothy hadn't won that one either, I think it would have been the exact same situation the other way around. You've got the scoreboard. Ryan is sandwiched in between Timothy and Quinton. Attack the Middle starts in 22 seconds. Anyone can win of the top 5. Honestly, any one of the top 5 can win. This is going to be a fantastic finale to this evening of racing. Don't forget, we've got more racing tonight with Aaron Starlin, who raced at like 4 a.m. in the morning for him, which is absolute rock star material. Aaron Starling, MVP of the day. He'll be broadcasting later, so 7 hours from now, make sure to stick around. We've got more racing. But here we go. Attack the Middle. 8th race of the day here in our second back-to-back zone. Now we go. Quinton, will he come out on top? No! He comes out in 4th place. That is going to be difficult to make up, but you've got 1 Racer's Edge, 1 Quantum Shift. Now, Timothy does not have a matching kit in game. So in terms of bonus points, he does lose out on 10 potential bonus points. So he needs to win by a margin of 10, if not higher, over the likes of Quinton. I like how Blur is trying to get an F in chat for Ben's brain. And that's because Ben thought with 1 lap to go on Dust Bowl Crit, the race was over, but it's never really over. As you can see, Sebastian moving up further back. It's been quite an intense race all around. Casey's here in 4th. In the previous zone, if he had won this one, he would have won every single race. And I know he wants to make up for this one. Quinton comes to the left here. Casey to the right. And Casey tries to slot in, and he knew it. 1 pixel. This was a zone of testing for Casey as he overlapped the wheels. He says, go up the road. And if we can bring that one up on the replay, we'll show it to you just one more time as 2 riders tried to attack, and they had a move here, but it's literally like 1 pixel. That's the difference between Casey getting in line, having a massive advantage, or being down in 8th place after a crash of that magnitude. If we see the scoreboard here on the left, Timothy is still leading, but only by 7 points. Now, if he comes 3rd here, it is still not enough, but actually, Timothy needs to win this one because the way bonus points works, Quinton will get 20 bonus points when you're doing the mental math, so nobody should trust this, but as a general guidance, Quinton would get 20 bonus points for matching kit and streaming in with video and audio. Timothy would only get 10 as he doesn't have a Hive kit in the game yet. So Timothy needs to win this race if he wants to win the $30 and the pride and honor of winning Zone L here on a lovely Tuesday in the CVRcade Solo Cup. Quinton again, this is the rematch, this is the grudge match, this is, you know, this is straight out of Rocky. These 2 guys, we just need Eye of the Tiger. This is, man, this is tense. This is lovely to watch. This is why we all come here to Mixer on a great Tuesday evening to watch CVRcade racing, because we've got 1 lap remaining. Blurry Bulb says, let's go, Timothy. Timothy's at 190. Sebastian, in the last race, ruined the tea party for Casey, for Quinton, and he comes on through here. And for Timothy, this is lovely. He wants Sebastian to come on through and take the points away for Quinton. But Quinton right now is still 1 point provisionally ahead of Timothy. Last week, I believe Quinton beat Timothy by 1.5 points. He could be in for the exact same situation here. How is he going to play it out? We're on the final lap of racing. Sepp, second time today, is in the lead of Attack the Middle and looks good to secure a potential 3rd spot. He is only 0.5 point behind Quinton on the overall as he uses Racer's Edge, and Quinton goes with it. He wants to close down the gap. 500 meters. He uses Racer's Edge. What does Timothy Tamont do so far? The answer is nothing. The finish line is beckoning. 300 meters. Quinton slides on through. He's safe. Sebastian goes. Now Timothy goes with the Racer's Edge as Sebastian Kuhn Quantum Shift when he didn't really need to here through the bots as they are overlapped. As we'll see, Timothy Tamondo is coming at 67 kilometers an hour. And ladies and gentlemen, on the line, it is Timothy Tamont taking Zone L and a finish line sprint as we saw him come flying on by. And with that, he secures the preliminary victory by over 30, well actually 29 points here, but depending on bonus points, what a finish, ladies and gentlemen. Flew right on by, and he knew how to play that one. Ryan, though, from second place down to fourth, pending any bonus points, but we'll see how that updates. Ryan, how's the picnic currently going out on Attack the Middle?
I don't know how many bucks I get, $10 or something, when I cross the finish line here. Yeah, that one didn't go well. I think I was discouraged from the last race. I actually raced it flawlessly from my perspective, Dust Bowl crit. I just had bad luck with a dropout. That was my only crash up to that point. And then on this one, yeah, I got stuck behind Ben, so I'm not going to call out any teamwork getting Timothy to the front there, but yeah, it made me tough to catch the front, and then I was forced to do an effort and crash at the end there. But, you know, it is what it is. I feel like I had a good day overall.
That's all that matters, Ryan. We've got Zone T if you want more racing at the end here, but we have just seen the highlights. Thank you, Ryan, and we'll be back later for more thoughts on the racing as we see the Timothy Tamont sprint. The producer goes away. He counts Timothy out here as we cut to a full shot of Quinten, but just at the corner of your eye, if you look down below, Timothy with razor's edge, he gives it everything. He's at 60 kilometers an hour currently. He uses the butts to give him a draft, and with it he goes, see you later. And Timothy Tamont with the celebration of a lifetime here. As I said before, it's like he just won the CVRcade Solo Cup Grand Finale. That was good racing, great racing to watch. Timothy, on a scale to 1 to 10, what does that victory mean to you?
Yeah, it's always fun to win like that. Such a nail-biter of a race. Yeah, I saw Sebastian go to the front and then use his razor's edge, and Quinten followed with his. But that was on a downhill, so I quickly decided to not do it and just go all out and try and follow, keep the gap as close as possible. And I knew I then had a big sprint at the end, and the speed was so much different than when they used it versus me because it was on a downhill. Yeah, the bots definitely helped a little bit, but they helped for everybody, so they were ghosted for everybody. So yeah, it got me that little bit of extra speed in the end there. That was great.
Let me just let you relive the chat as that finish comes up. Mutt KG goes, and here we go, 500 meters. Aaron goes, nail biter for the overall. Jennifer, Timothy, all caps. Aaron, whoa, all caps. Jennifer, no way, all caps. Glenn, let's go. What does it mean to have this chat support?
It's so amazing. The support of the chat. Like, I read it during the races as well, and yeah, well, not during that final sprint, but when it's a calm moment in the race, I quickly look at the chat, and it's always great to see your name and people cheering for you. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun being on the stream.
Well, congratulations again. Preliminaries, of course, as the commissioners will take a look. Let's go to Quinten Molyneux, who come across the line in second. Quinten, for the majority of that race, you look like you're going to win based on bonus points, but talk to me about that final sprint, because that came out of nowhere.
That final sprint, that was something else. I saw Seb go, so I figured I had to answer that. Honestly, I counted Timothy out, but when I saw that there was a whole sling of bots coming up, and I knew Timothy had saved his race's edge, I knew he was going to slingshot past. You get such a big advantage if you can get a draft of those bots, and you could clearly see it. You went up to like nearly 70 km an hour, which, I mean, it's partly luck and partly maybe just game insight. Let's say Timothy knew what he was doing and it wasn't luck, and then it was well played.
Well, Quinten, regardless, looking at your performance, you take home a whole lot of green, as Casey would call it today. I mean, winning Zone E, up there in K and L. What are you thinking? Because I know you're saving up all this money. I mean, you got like $60 last week. You're close to the same, if not more, this week. I mean, do you need a bigger piggy bank after this?
No, I I have the very, very bad habit of spending before I get it. So I already spent what I could possibly get. So I'll probably still be in a hole after all the winnings come in.
What did you buy this time around?
Need a new phone. Need a new laptop. Yeah.
I love it, Quentin. Congratulations once again for a phenomenal effort across the 3 zones. It wasn't meant to be in Zone L, but let that not take away from the absolute great display of skills across all 3 zones you've raced today. Quentin Molinez, everybody. In 3rd place, preliminary, we do have Sebastian Kuhn as we're watching the highlights on the screen of Zones K and L as we get the highlights. Sep, I mean, that, again, we've heard Timothy's point of view, we've heard Quentin's point of view, but what about that sprint? I mean, again, I think everybody was at the edge of their seat. What did you feel going through that sprint?
I felt nothing more. I only saw stars in front of my eyes. I could not read the chat, sorry.
Well, stars in front of your eyes. You've also got a beanie on your head now. What have we upgraded to?
It's just not to get a cold.
That's clever. That is next level play by Sebastian Kuhn. But Seb, great racing here today. We've got the Durney Cup on Thursday. You and Homer, have you been practicing? Have you been honing in on the keyboard skills?
No, I practiced on my music skills. I have now the best playlist, I think, so we probably should win.
Oh, I love you, Seb. Thank you so much for being on the stream here. Congratulations on a preliminary 3rd place, of course, pending any bonus points. We've spoken to Ryan, but we'll come back to him in a second. Casey, I think Casey's still here. I think he's just turned off his webcam. But Casey, 2nd zone, it looked like it was testing for you. What was the 2nd zone for you?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't plan on full-on racing it, but then after sitting in with the bots on race 2 and kind of just getting a solid effort in, I was able to get a really good set of power-ups and get back to like 6th place. So, I mean, I was really in a spot to get back to the podium overall, and I made a lot of mistakes on the 3rd and 4th race. You know, I took a gamble on that last one. I knew I was super close to Timothy's wheel. I knew Timothy was sprinting as hard as he could to not let me in. I knew it was then or never. Like, there was a very, very small window to slam the door in that spot. Quentin went low. I went high. Timothy reacted a little late to us, but was trying to do the right thing for him. And I mean, I actually want to go back and look at my replay because visually I think I was clear, but it's, you know, the bike isn't always exactly where it actually is on track kind of thing. You know how video games work. So, but you know, yeah, it was fun. I mean, you learn from doing that. I didn't go super hard, but I mean, I still had a decent result. We'll probably be back doing T tonight unless something comes up on the home front. So, but yeah, I mean, that was a good time. It was fun listening to kind of Q and Timothy battle it out at the front too. But yeah, it's good fun and good practice.
That's all that matters, Casey. I'm looking forward to watching the highlights and seeing you race Zone T, hopefully later tonight as Aaron Starling gets into the broadcast. Thank you, Casey. Let's go quickly back to Ryan here as we skipped over him as we got his initial feedback. Ryan, feels like there could have been more from you today. You had the legs, but if you could have kept the rubber side down, maybe something. Is this something you'll take home now and practice for next week?
Yeah, I think you said it. I mean, I felt like I had the legs for a perfect day. You know, I'm not usually that confident, but you know, just a little mistiming in the first one. You know, the second one I did exactly what I wanted and it worked out. So yeah, it's really just a matter of executing what you have in mind and being willing to put it out there. So, but that's, you know, that's why I'm back, kind of racing for real, is to, you know, to practice in these race environments, and we'll see what I can do in future weeks here.
I like the sounds of that, Ryan. Look forward to having you back here in the broadcast. And the final word we'll get is from the person, actually, I think, oh, she's still here. Vibeke, the sunglasses have come off, but I see the smile is still there. How was your evening of racing so far?
It was tough. I think I got the points I deserved. I had nothing today, but I beat Homer. That was my main goal.
And Nils, so you got 2 riders you beat up down there, both very strong riders. But what can you improve on then? How come you had nothing today?
I I've got a problem with my heel, so my shoes are, yeah, it's not good. I need new shoes, and I don't win any money, so I can't buy new shoes.
That is the paradox, but Vibeke, I believe you gotta do like Quentin. Quentin spends money to make money. Not sure how her phone helps you win more races, but regardless, invest, you know, take on back the dividends. But Vibeke, thank you for being in the broadcast, and thank you for starting the trend of gimmicky items such as sunglasses, hats, you know, whatever else it might be. I love it. Like Alison Kubota, whenever she's on the stream, it's amazing to see the full kit of aero helmet and everything. I do see the chat asking, I will not be racing Zone T because I am under the weather and I don't feel that's the most sensible decision, but I will be racing some more in the future. But I think I'll be racing some physical replays and then either streaming it or recording it. It's an idea I've been running around with. So if you want to see me race, whether live streamed or just recorded, it will happen. But let me just get totally free of this stuff, and then we can take it. So baby steps at a time here, as we see Casey crashing again here as Zone L was full of those. But the story had to be Timothy and Quentin. Just the intensity in the air today between the two riders, it just felt like they were going 12 rounds or going back and forth here, and at the very end, skill or no skill, Timothy Tamont used the butts, used the draft, flies on through, and projected, propelled into outer space, and some say he's still orbiting out the outer Earths of, Earth. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Here you got the full results up here. To my right, you got Timothy, Quentin. It's been great seeing Zones K and L E earlier today, which is usually broadcasted by Beth. Fortunately, she is not available this week as she's out of office. But later today, 7 hours from now, 6 hours and 55 minutes to be exact, soon to be 54 minutes, Aaron Starlin will be in this exact spot, and with his soothing voice, he'll be calmly guiding you through the action as Zone T gets underway. Watch Casey, Moti, and the rest of the crew take to the fields of CVRcade. But until then, we'll see you. But no, Beth, yours goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marvels. Kayla versus Allison, and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory.